Hey, everybody, it is Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com coming to you with the Thursday edition of Today in Sports Betting, Part 2. It's Major League Baseball season. It's opening day, Scott. Man, this is weird. This whole opening up on Thursday thing, I don't like it. Traditionally, opening day is Monday of the National Championship games, one of my favorite weekends of the year, and that's part of the reason why. Yes, ESPN had stolen the game and made a Sunday night opening day with one game, but the major part of the season opened up Monday. So that's going to end my old man rant for the day. What do you have to say?
Well, I was just going to wonder. So there's going to be baseball going on during the college championship.
Yeah.
That's I'm sure a lot of people will be watching baseball instead of the championship game.
I don't care for it. It's out of order. It's just not the way things have been. So
that really sounds like a get off my lawn speech.
yeah, it really does. All right. Well, before we go down that road any further, hey, let's take a look at some of our favorite plays here today, Scott. We've got a couple. Like I said, we're not gonna go into every game because that's just, well, frankly, it's just not gonna happen.
We're still kind of working out the format for the show, but I think we're going to stick with the NBA format. And we'll talk about two games, then some other stuff that might stand out a little bit.
Yep, I think that's, you and I are each going to pick a favorite and go from there. And some of the ones, a lot of good pitching matchups as you often see on opening day. What's the pitching matchup you're looking forward to seeing most, Scott?
It's got to be a smooth segue into the first game. It's got to be Gibson. It's got to be Gibson, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be.
It's Kyle Gibson, Brad Keller, absolutely.
That's the matchup that everyone dreams of seeing. But, the answer is obvious. It's going to be DeGrom and Scherzer.
Yeah.
I don't know who has COVID on the Nationals, so that's something to keep in mind.
Right.
Because if you end up finding out, oh, by the way, Juan Soto, good player, he has COVID again. And I believe this line will fly in the Mets' favor.
Yeah, five people in the party have COVID.
And it really depends on who it is. If it's a random relief pitcher or a backup utility guy.
Is it the assistant to the traveling secretary? Or
yeah, I'm just saying if it turns out to be even like a Josh Bell, who they acquired as a buy low candidate there, who could be very good, it could be a huge deal towards the number. So if you like the Mets, you can gamble on it now and hope that it's a serious contributor on the Nationals, and you should beat a serious line move.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you would be guaranteed to beat the line move, no question about it. So we will start with mine, Scott. It is going to be the Royals, and it's going to be Brad Keller going against Kyle Gibson. I so wanted to take my Royals here in this spot, but I can't. This is probably going to be the biggest price the Royals lay all year, as they are minus 176. Although we talked about, you could see it again in this series. So this series, you'll see the biggest numbers, because when you're opening with Kyle Gibson, it gets worse in a hurry.
Now, I believe what we talked about during the actual division previews was that the Royals win total is around 72.5, I think. Mm-hmm. If you're laying this much against the Rangers, you're going to see some massive numbers against really all the garbage teams. The Pirates should be plus 200 all the time.
Yeah.
The Rockies should be plus 200 all the time. And the Rangers should be plus 200 all the time. So you're either going to see one team become the Orioles from 2 years ago, where they're going to be all-time bad, or you're going to find some Miami Marlins miracle team that's going to buy you a new house. These are going to be plus 200 all the time. Is that a fair way to put it?
Yeah, that's pretty much that's a great way to put it. I'm not interested in laying 176 on the Royals. This is Kyle Gibson has actually pitched decent against the Royals. He's seen them a lot being with the Twins. He's 9-5 over his career, 3.67 ERA, 135 innings, 133 hits. So he hasn't done poorly against the Royals, although in fairness, he hasn't been great lately. So a lot of those numbers came earlier in his career. But for this one, I'm more interested in playing Royals team total over. And I'm guessing, and I don't know whether we have a team total. You might have one there in front of you. I don't hear, but the total's 9.5. How many guess Royals are going to be over what? We're going to get 5.5 out of that?
If I had to guess, I would say so, but I'm just checking right now. I'm going to see if FanDuel has it. If not, DraftKings should have it.
I might. And if it was really kind of touch and go whether I wanted to play that or just play the flat over as well.
I don't see it on FanDuel, so if you want to, you can stall for a minute and I'll try to find it.
No, that's all right. My first choice in that would be team total over 5.5. Obviously, I'm not going to play the Royals at 6.5, so I have no interest in that. But I would play them team total over 5.5. And
I see 4.5 minus 127.
Four and a half for a team total
Minus 127.
in a game where the total's 9.5 and the Royals are 170. Really?
All right, on DraftKings, I'm staring right at it.
Taking it. Lock it up. Yes. Royals team total over 4.5 all day.
Well, I think the logic might be they cut into it because of the fact that they're the home team, might not bat 9 times, but still the math doesn't really check out on that.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't check out at all. I mean, yeah, they are. Yeah, you're giving up 8% there because of the last at bats, but they're in no way guaranteed to be ahead in the ninth inning either. So, yeah, give me the Royals at team total 4.5. I'll take that. They bashed all spring, and I know that means nothing when it comes to the regular season. But this is a team
except when you bet on them in the preseason.
Oh, and I backed Brad Keller last time, so don't remind me.
That was a fun time.
Good times indeed. So that was I'll take the Kansas City Royals team total over there. I'll pay the juice happily.
All right. So what I'm going to look for here is going to be another really, really bad team that I just mentioned. It's going to be the Rockies matchup. Not exactly a great spot to start the year against the defending World Series champions who are projected to be the best team in the entire league. Yeah, the Dodgers are traveling to Coors to face off against the Rockies. What can possibly go wrong on that one? But looking at this pitching matchup, you have Marquez, who is overall very good, who I'm still shocked the Rockies held on to for this long. But he has to go up against Kershaw. Kershaw on opening day has been insane during his entire career. I believe he's 7-1 in his career on opening day. But looking at his numbers against the Rockies, 24-8 in his career with a 3.22 ERA. He kills this team every time. And if you want to talk about, well, what if Marquez pitches a gem? You have the Rockies bullpen, which is always a very, very fun experience.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
In Coors against the Dodgers, who have, one of the best lineups, if not the best lineup by far in the league. Seager, Betts, Bellinger, the list goes on and on. Everyone knows all these guys. So,
and that's worth talking about as well, Scott, is, pitchers are usually ahead of the batters. However, they're not going to go deep. Number one, pitchers don't go deep anymore. And number two, it's the first game of the season. 6 innings is going to be the absolute stone cold max that anybody's going to go.
Yeah, and the Dodgers are guaranteed to bat 9 times here. So I know if you look at the actual run lines, of course it's expensive. Dodgers are minus 215 on the money line, which still sounds way too low. I kind of figured the Dodgers would be laying, what do you think, like 275 here against the Rockies?
We've seen a lot of Kershaw numbers in the 300 range.
Yeah, this actually seems pretty cheap. I know the line is around minus 137, which is really not that bad. You're picking up about 80 cents there, which is actually pretty good. But if you end up taking the Dodgers on the alternative run line there at minus 2.5, it's plus 108 on DraftKings. I know that might sound like a very bold bet because they have to win by 3 runs or more, of course. But you're looking at a huge mismatch from top to bottom involving every position. It's really just hideous. And I feel like you can agree that the Dodgers should probably win this game by at least like 5 runs. If you really want to just break it down, this Dodgers team, if they show up, should be up by a couple runs by the 4th.
When you said the Dodgers are guaranteed 9 at bats, I wanted to say so are the Rockies.
That is definitely true. That is definitely a good way to put it. But that is just really, really – it's just – I can't even describe how big of a mismatch that is. It's one of the biggest mismatches in the league. And they're going to play another 18 times after that. So you got yourself a pretty fun experience there. Dodgers team total is around 6.5. But at the end of the day, if you think that Kershaw is going to pitch well like he has his entire career against the Rockies, especially against this lineup, which is, besides Story and Blackman, is abysmal the right word?
Yeah, that's a very good word.
You lose Arenado, you pretty much got nothing else. Yeah, not a fun time, and the Dodgers are absolutely stacked. So I think the Dodgers should win this game very handily. Minus 2.5 at plus 108. I feel like I have to take that, don't you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think that's the play, getting positive value out of that game.
It's crazy there might even be value on the actual money line at minus 215 because that sounds insanely cheap.
Yeah.
For a matchup there with Kershaw versus the Rockies. I mean, you're used to seeing Kershaw at minus 275, 300, minus 215. I mean,
that's basically saying that they go 667 against them. So they win 2 out of every 3 games. So if they play 18 games, you're breaking even at minus 200 at 12-6. Do you think
They
there's
play 19 times? You give the Rockies 3 games or 1?
That's what I'm saying. Do you think there's any way the Rockies win more than 6 games out of 19?
I would give the Rockies a round of applause if they win more than 3 games against the Dodgers this year.
Yeah, I don't know that. Yeah, I would put it in the 4 or 5 range. I think there's value back in the Dodgers every time they play on the money line.
Especially at this price. I mean, you got to assume if the Dodgers end up killing, let's just say the Dodgers end up killing the Rockies like I think they will, and they win by 4 runs or so. What's the money line on the Dodgers tomorrow? Minus 280?
Well, obviously, it's still going to depend on the pitching matchup more than what happened yesterday. But
it depends on pitching, but then you remember the Rockies are the team we're talking about. So you don't have many great options.
I'm surprised. Like you said, I'm surprised this one wasn't higher.
That's what I thought.
So to see it, I mean, somewhere in the neighborhood of 250, 260, yeah, I think that's probably close.
I said it's 238, and you can still get 215 on DraftKings. So once again, shop your lines in baseball, especially.
Yeah, absolutely. Although, you only pay the juice when you lose, and I wouldn't worry about it there.
Well, that is true. But I'm just also going to throw out there my brief rant because you had one earlier, different topic, but still the same sport because it's about baseball. Keep in mind the listed pitcher option. I go through this every year because I have to. Last year was especially crazy with all the COVID news and who was going to play, who was not going to play, who was going to pitch. And some books just only offered action because they got tired of it.
Right.
Keep in mind, I know FanDuel always has a listed pitchers option, but if you end up taking a team and you actually lay a decent amount of money on baseball, and then you find out your pitcher scratched, but you only like the matchup because of the pitcher, you need it. Like, you need the insurance there.
And explain what you mean by listed pitcher action for those that are new to betting baseball.
So the way that it works is that if you end up looking at a matchup and you say, for example, Kershaw's pitching against Marquez, and you say to yourself, I only want Kershaw. I want nobody else to pitch for the Dodgers. I'm only backing Kershaw. You can have an option that's called a listed pitcher, which means that if one pitcher ends up not playing, you can actually do both pitchers.
Right.
One pitcher.
Depending on the book,
say,
yes.
Yeah, if Kershaw doesn't pitch, my bet's canceled. And that's especially valuable during COVID season because you might have a last-minute scratch, and next thing you know, instead of having Kershaw on the mound, you might have Dustin May.
Right.
Suddenly feel less confident about your bet.
Well, you're still going to have an advantage, obviously, but the price can be different. So
that's really just anything. You talk about any other team like I think Cleveland's going to be a great example this year. You look at Bieber. Suddenly, Bieber's not pitching. You really want to lay minus 200 with I don't even the back end.
I knew you were going to. I was wondering how you were going to go down that path.
It was going to be Plesac if I had to name anybody else, but he's actually pretty good. So,
yeah, but still, again, you're paying Bieber price to get Plesac, so it's still your example still works.
Correct.
You're paying Kershaw prices to get Dustin May.
Yeah,
and that's what you want to avoid. So you want to have a listed picture, and I guarantee you have the option. Look around; it should be a little drop down or whatever it is, and you may have the option to set it for one way for the entire season, or you may have to go through and set it each game. But take the time to do that if the pitching matchup matters to you, and when you have these kind of aces going. Obviously, it does. So,
yep. Now, of course, you can do the opposite, where if you want to fade a great pitcher, then you keep the action open because that means no matter who's pitching, you get the action.
Right.
If you want to fade a great pitcher, then that makes sense to do the action section. But if you want to lay numbers with pitchers you specifically want to back, then you have to use the listed pitcher option.
Yeah, if you're taking the Rockies at plus 184, and Kershaw gets back spasms, all of a sudden now you've got the Rockies at plus 184 against Dustin May, and you got yourself a much better bet.
Yep.
All right, there you go, bud. And yeah, that's going to kick off our baseball season. We'll be back. We'll probably be back tomorrow and do baseball, huh?
Yep, sounds about right. But I have to do that rant every single year for listed pitchers.
I bet you do it. I bet you do it again this year.
I think I have to, don't I?
I
All it takes is one starter to get COVID right before he starts.
I know.
Falls positive, and then I have all my rant material for the rest of the year.
Yeah, there's going to be some kind of horrible break, and we'll bring it up again. So get ready for that, guys. In the meantime, let's get ready for baseball season, man. It's we got fans in the stands again, Scott. I know that they were eyeing hopefully having full houses by the middle of summer. Keep a good thought. We'll see how that goes. And of course, if you're looking for information on these or any other games, make sure you stop by and check out winnersandwhiners.com. Full deep dives, predictions into every game every single day. We do this every day. We do a baseball. We do NBA. We are happy to do it. We love doing what we do. Have a lot of fun. I like baseball more than Rochelle does, although he has a deep knowledge and understanding of baseball. Just not a fan as much as betting on, say, college basketball. But we're going to make a convert of him. We're working on him, folks.
Well, I still follow, so it's not like I don't know what I'm talking about.
I said you did. I said
Yeah, I'm just saying. I got to defend my credibility a little bit.
You're just too afraid to bet on it.
I'm not
But
too afraid to bet on it. I'm just a Yankees fan who likes to follow the entire sport.
well, yank this. For myself, for Scott Reichel, for all of us over here at winnersandwhiners.com, we appreciate you guys stopping by. Wish you nothing but the best of luck. Hoping every one of those tickets in your pocket turns into cash money back at the window. You guys have a great day, and we'll see you next time on Today in Sports Betting. See ya.